G'day everyone, how you going? Hey, what's behind me? Oh, just the new ride-on. Don't worry about it. That's right, mowing just got a lot more easier and a heck of a lot more fun. Just come back with the Time Cutter MX4200. It's a Toro zero-turn mower, and as you can see, it only just fits in this beast of a trailer. Here it is. So this particular model is the smallest model that has the fabricated deck. Doesn't have the pressed steel deck because I didn't want to have it break down and have issues later. Seat there, battery and everything is underneath. Now this particular engine is the V-twin 22.5 horsepower, and it is a Toro made motor. And I know what you're probably thinking, Chinese made, surely it'll break down, but I have done some research on it and I've heard some pretty good reviews in this particular model. So time will tell, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to put it through mowing all this in the front yard. Now that we've got a bit of sun again, look how green it's gotten. When we first moved in a couple of months ago, it was dead. Nothing but brown grass and dirt. This is going to fix it up. Alright, so it's a twin cylinder, overhead valves, that's what OHV is, and we'll see how it goes. A couple of things I'm unsure about is when you go to oil change, there's a pipe here, you pull that down and it drains the oil out, so hopefully that's something that has longevity. All right. Why, oh why, would you use these flathead screws to put this together? you can't get a grip on any of them. You try and tighten up the bolts, try and tighten up all the bolts, and what do you got to hold on to on the other end? A sloppy flathead screw that you can't hold on to. So I just finished mowing, haven't even washed the mower down, still filthy. Bloody chooks, I'm trying to talk here. Still filthy, I've still got to hose it all down. The mower deck does have a connection where you can wash underneath and keep it nice and clean, so I'm going to do that later. Although I have read that you should let the mower cool down a bit. I've heard some people have reviews where it can cause a little bit of an issue with the seal and the bearing in the cutting discs underneath, so I'll just let it cool down a little bit before I do that as well. What's my impressions of this mower so far? Now keep in mind I've only used it once, I just finished cutting the lawn today. Number one, it did take a little bit to get used to being zero turn. I don't think that's anything to do with the particular mower, but it also didn't really take that long to get used to. By the end of my 1 acre block that I was mowing, I was used to the controls and I could comfortably cut the grass on my block here. I've got a couple of hills on my property and this thing actually went really well. I was impressed with the power and the grip and traction that it actually had. At the front it was pretty wet and the grass and purslane was probably about a foot or taller, and so it was quite moist and wet. And so it slipped a little bit, but I don't think that's for the mower, I think that's just because it was so wet. So I was quite impressed with the power this thing has. It's a 22.5 horsepower Toro engine, so it is the smallest engine for the fabricated deck for this mower. So I like the power. The turning was fantastic, and even with the trailer on the back, I was still able to do really sharp turns, and I just used that trailer, as you saw, to move a bunch of rocks. The trailer itself, what can I say about that? It's good, but I think it could be made a bit better. It does feel a bit flimsy. The release to tilt the trailer over is a bit cheap, I would say. However, it's doing the job so far, so time's going to tell how long that will last. And I'll probably do a review a few months down the track to see how it's going and holding up. But for the mower itself, I think the deck is quite well made. I was very happy with the power, the control. It's really not that loud. I mean, some people might complain that it is a little bit loud. I didn't use hearing protection or anything when I mowed, and I didn't find that it was an uncomfortable level at all. I thought it was okay. The one issue that I found, it may just be me, when I did start, I had a few times where the motor would just tick tick. I thought it might have been the battery being flat, but it wasn't. The one thing that I found that helped it do was if I had the handles out in the lock position when I was starting the engine. I think maybe I was doing a hydro lock if I had the handles in, which releases the hydrostatic brake in it, and I think that might have been causing an issue. Other than that, I think that so far I'm impressed with this mower, and it's going to be really good for my block of land. It was fast, it was powerful, and it does have a good cut. I was happy with how it cut the grass. Even when the grass was very, very thick, it didn't bog down, and it cut it to a good standard, I believe. So that's my review, quick review, and what the Toro MX4200 in particular is like. And I'm going to keep going with it. You'll probably see me using it a bit more, but I would recommend this mower if anyone is wondering if they're worth it or not. So here it is. If you have any more questions or you want to pick my brain about anything that you thought is good, or if you're curious about a particular component or part of it, hit me up. I'm happy to check it out and reply to you. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.